we go. Sorry. His research is in computational geometry, which he applies across the length of scales in science, from geographic information systems, GIS, to structural molecular biology, protein folding, and crystal structure validation. He says that although he grew up in a family of teachers, he was actually never taught to teach. And so he's appreciated his interactions with the summer institutes in scientific teaching, now the National Institute on Scientific Teaching. Over some short period of time, I guess his courses must have tripled in size. So suddenly teaching became important because class size got large. Currently, he teaches discrete structures to a large class of about 200. And he co-teaches an applied data science class in the business world to still a reasonable sized class of, he's responsible for 58 of 100 and nearly 120. He looks forward to when he can have close contact with the students and teach again his first year seminar, Folding from Paper to Proteins. Jack, I will turn it over to you. Thank you for being here with us today.
All right. Well, thank you, Steve, for letting me. I actually took Steve's slot and because I was offering to do this just on how do we start classes, and especially doing it over Zoom. And so I've been learning a bunch of magic tricks for my discrete math class, discrete structures class, mostly mathematically based. And so I thought, I've really appreciated these happy hours to meet and share ideas. And I've taken a lot of ideas and applied them in my classes. And so I thought I'd share a few ideas. You can think of this as just for entertainment, or you can hopefully find some ideas, and we'll have a breakout room discussion over other ways that we use to establish rituals or patterns or hooks to hook students into our classes. So try to get, there we go. So in person, the basic question is, how do you entice the students to arrive at class on time and to focus on the course material? And especially for me, when I'm teaching 200 people in a class where some significant fraction are taking it only because they're required to, and they need to get a C or better to continue on in computer science. So in person, I've always used an idea that I got from a formal faculty member, which is show computer graphics in the 5 minutes before class starts to reward the people that come on time. Oh, of course, it's not going to do this. Sorry, I do have to show this YouTube video. So let me quick switch the screen share so that I can.
Those emotions, they were put on hold by time, but at Claire's bridal weekend at a Verbo Beach house.
Skip the ads.
The unsung heroes of this process are the technical guys, the TDs and technical leads.
It's critical to have people who can
of course,
take the artistic and visual quality of what.
Okay, so obviously this is one of the things that isn't going to work over Zoom when I'm trying to do things where I'm going to stop that because it is
and make sure that that is retained as it
not going to let me do that. The point of this piece of video is in the making of the first Incredibles movie. It's one of my former students who makes the ice for Frozone. And so they have him in the making of demoing the ice to Brad Bird, and Brad Bird saying, "Oh wow, that's so cool." And so I get to tell my students that if you take classes with me, you get to make ice for superheroes. So, or I bring objects to pass around in class. So I've got a whole bunch of things sitting here in computer science. We do divide and conquer. So divide and conquer for chocolate bars and throwing those around. Some things that do work over Zoom is starting with poll everywhere, and most magic tricks you actually want to interact with the spectator, but a bunch of them I've been learning that ways to do over Zoom. And so I wanted to share some of those ideas with you. And I'll put the video link in the chat. Yes, thanks, Chrissy, for asking for that. All right, so and so what I want, my goal for today here, if I can get my share back to the PowerPoint slides so that I can actually advance them. Here is, so yeah, for you, for me, this has been a stressful semester. The end is even more stressful. My objective today is partly just to entertain, but also encourage. And a bunch of my card tricks are things where I try to use to encourage the students that you can be magical too. Hopefully give you a trick or two that you can use, but also, you know, I've always enjoyed the breakout rooms where we can share each other's ideas on classroom starters. And I want to share one of my colleagues, Suzanne Lai's 10 breath meditation is just another form of ritual that can be used. Also, you know, if you're practicing magic tricks and you're an amateur, then your family, you know, has to watch you practice a bunch of tricks. And so this way I get to practice, give my family a break and keep practicing. So there's slides will be made available afterwards too, and there's a bunch of resources. There's a whole bunch of things on YouTube. Penn and Teller Fool Us gives you a good excuse to watch all the Penn and Teller Fool Us videos. John, I see, was holding up Colin Mulcahy's book here. I want to give credit to Percy Diaconis and Ron Graham, especially to Ron Graham, who actually two mathematicians, both Ron Graham and John Conway, passed away in the past year. John Conway in April of 2020 and Ron Graham in July of 2020. And from both of them, I've learned several tricks, some that work best in person, but a couple of them that I'll be able to teach you as well. Also, Scam School, Scam Nation, Brian Brushwood is a magician who also has this concept of winning beer at the bar, and has a lot of very good tricks that are just, you know, little surprises, little ways that don't take a lot of time. And so I want to give, you know, some magic tricks and bar bets as hooks that can be used over Zoom. And tricks can be used for lots of different things. We can do tricks to impress, but also tricks to get people thinking, engender skepticism, have them not trust the professor. That's always good. If they don't trust the professor and think for themselves, that's always something to encourage. Tricks for introducing various mathematical concepts like number bases, information, the concept of impossibility in mathematics, Markov chains, and then also other things. You know, if I wanted to think of the chemistry, we can demonstrate chirality or spooky actions at a distance, so sort of quantum effects. Since I know that there's a lot of different science, I want to make sure I get some tricks that relate to the biology or the physics in here as well. Nutritionists, you'll have to figure out how to adapt some of the other tricks. I hope that many of you brought cards along because it's a fun way of having interaction with a class. If you have cards or a coin to flip, and so some of these tricks you can take away and use them for interaction, but also just tricks for encouragement. So so let me show you what I mean by tricks for encouragement. I'll just pull out and I'll just Osagi, if you can spotlight my document camera. And I'm going to stop the screen share for a while, because then we can look at the document camera is just my cell phone on a tripod. And I need people to help me on this one. So I'll need people to either just speak up or send me things in the chat. And so I've just pulled out, you know, spades ace through 5 and hearts ace through 5. And I'm just going to deal down 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. So we've got, you know, spades and we've got hearts. And well, actually, but before I do that, I should mix things up, so we can cut these cards so we don't just happen to have all the things in order. And then I'll deal down 5 cards. And now I need help. So we've got 5 cards in each pile. And this is pile A and pile B. And I need to do, since we've got 5 cards, I need to do 4 moves. And a move is going to be take the top card from one pile and put it underneath. Okay, so somebody give me, just type in the chat 4 letters made of A's and B's. You can do A, B, B, or any order that you want to. Okay, Frank got it first. So Frank said B, and then A, and then B and B. All right, so these are Frank's cards. Chrissy was quick. Chrissy, give me 3 moves because now there's only 4 cards there. So, okay, Chrissy says we're going to do an A and a B and an A. There's Chrissy's cards. Somebody give me 2 moves. Siley says do 1 to B and then 1 to A. So we got Siley's cards. Oh, I forgot to tell you what we're trying to do here. I need 1 more move. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to end up with a pair. Okay, so Trevor gets these. And if you guys are magical, then we should up in with a pair. But not only that, Trevor had a pair. Siley had a pair. Chrissy had a pair. And Frank had the pair of aces. So you guys are all magical. This is great. Well done. So let me take a few more cards out of this deck. I'm not going to take all of them. I think I've got a joker in here. Yeah, I have to take this joker out. This should be about 28 cards, which we can just. So one of the things that as teachers that we try to do is try to encourage students that even when things look chaotic, that there's still order and there's still principles to be found. And so, I can do that by just, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's about half, 2 things of half the deck. I can start mixing up cards here by, putting some face down. I'm just gonna look at these, put some face down, some face down, face down, face down, face down, face up, down, face down. Let's start doing some face up, face down, face up. We'll just mix up these cards. So what did I say? Face up. Let's do this face up, face up, face down, face up, face down, face down, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, face up, face down, and face up. Okay, so I've got cards mixed up here. Well, of course, I did that, so I need your help mixing up these more. Okay, and so what I'm going to go through here is we'll take these 2 at a time, and you can tell me if I should stay or flip. Do you want me to flip these over, or do you want it to stay? So just start giving me, just say flip or stay as I go through. So go ahead and type it in the chat. Okay, so if since nobody's typing anything yet, so if I do the first one as stay, okay, so Steve, flip, 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 and then I saw stay, flip, stay, stay, flip, a few more. Did I miss any? Okay, so stay, stay, stay. I got 2 more cards, so another stay and a flip. Let's do that again. This time I'll go through with 4 at a time. All right. So Amber says flip, so here's 4 cards flipped. And then Patrick says stay, or sorry, Kathy said stay. So 4 cards stay. And then Patrick says flip. Okay, so a flip. And now I got stay. And 2 more. Okay, so flip and flip. Okay, good. So yeah, I got cards upside down, right side up. Just all, this sort of a mess. And so what I want to do, who knows poker? What's the best poker hand? How many cards do I need for a good poker hand? Royal flush, 5 cards for a royal flush. And so it would be interesting if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards upside down and everything else is right side up. And I have my royal flush. So order from chaos. This is the sort of thing that we try to communicate and try to give people ways of sorting out the order from the chaos. So yeah, so this one is actually not hard. This is it's a principle called a Hummer principle. And if you want to, we can also, if you brought cards, I can have you do it as well. So if you brought some cards, if you didn't, just watch. But if you brought some cards, then take out 3 cards, or I don't know how many cards. Actually, why don't we just somebody tell me? Yeah, does anybody need a minute to get cards?
Let's see if anybody wants to just take a minute and go grab a card. That might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Is there a yet?
Glad this is being recorded, needed. And the thing is, I haven't done any sleight of hand yet. All of this is tricks that work themselves. So in the resources, look for self-working tricks. I'll explain some of these so that you can do them. But a key, since I teach computer science, a key in computer science is invariance, something that is going to remain true even when other things are going on. And this trick is all about invariance. Okay, so somebody tell me stop when we're just going to deal out a couple of cards. I need a small packet, so somebody tell me when I should stop.
Stop.
Okay. Was that Steve said stop at 4 cards? All right, take one of these. So everybody takes 4 cards because that's what Steve wants us to have. So deal out 4 cards, and you can just watch me if you don't have cards, or you could, just take business cards and scribble numbers 1 through 4 on them or something if you want to. And just take one of them. Don't look at it. Go sit on it for a moment. And again, still not looking, take the middle card and flip it over. Okay, so you've got 1 card flipped the wrong way, the middle one. And now you can go take that card that you were sitting on and now go take a look at it. This is your card. Ignore the other one that's face up. This one is your card. So my card is the 2 of diamonds. All right. And now you get to make your choices. So do you want this? You're going to put this card down. Do you want to put it on top or on the bottom? Whatever you want to do. Just put it on top or put it on the bottom. That's fine. Okay. And then pick up the cards and take that first card and turn it over. Okay. Take the top 2 cards stick them on the bottom. Take the next card, turn it over and slide it on the bottom. Now, if your birthday's in the, has just been in the past 6 months, then take 2 cards and put it on the bottom. If your birthday's, in the next 6 months, then if you want to shuffle up the cards. Okay. And now, let's see. So now let's take 1 card and flip it over. And just like we did before, we take 2 cards, we put it on the bottom. We take another card, stick it on the bottom. We take, let's see, how do I want to do this? So 1 more card on the bottom, I counted wrong, and then flip over the next card. All right. And now, if you take a look at your cards, you should have 3 facing one way, and your card will be the odd one out. Your card is the special card. So my 2 of diamonds is the only one facing the wrong way. And the trick on these, this one and the one I just did, on both of these, the idea is when you take 2 cards, so we started out with 1 card facing differently from the other ones. And if I do things like take 2 cards, flip them over, take 2 cards, flip them over, I still have 1 card facing a different way from the other ones. I can cut any way I want to. I can take 2 cards, put it on the bottom, and then I can again do some turnovers. But as I flip pairs of things, if I flip this pair and flip this pair, then it doesn't matter which way things are face up or face down, the odd one out is always going to be this one. So this is the invariant. And when I was doing the other trick, I was putting things face up and face down. Always, I had half the cards in one hand, half in the other, and I was watching for my royal flush, and I was putting those cards the opposite way. I was putting all the rest of the cards, so that when I went and then we did all of the turning and flipping and stuff like that, it was still always even cards and odd cards were staying in even and odd positions, so that I could deal out even and odd cards, flip over the odd cards, and get everything only that royal flush to be upside down. All right, that's the Royal Hummer. That one is described in this book by Ron Graham and Percy Diaconis, Magical Mathematics. And I've taken several of the tricks from this. For those with interest in math, both of these guys are extremely good mathematicians and also good magicians and jugglers. So one time I went to a talk by Ron Graham, and I wanted to give him credit for this. This is one of my openers that works really well in person and doesn't work so well because I can't hand people things. But I like talking about Tetris, right? So Tetris is all of these pieces, the 7 ways of arranging 7 squares. So they're, polyominoes, but you've got the 2 different L's. And so you have some chirality here, some handedness. You've got the zig and the zag piece. You've got the T piece. You've got the 1x4 and the 2x2. Okay. And as you saw, I had all of those packed into a 4x7 rectangle. And what I like doing is handing out a bunch of these Tetris pieces to students in the class, because after I've done this and they've seen me pack it into a 4x7 rectangle, I always have trouble getting it back into the 4x7 rectangle. And in fact, this is a trick that illustrates the mathematical notion of impossibility. it is not possible to pack these things into a 4x7 rectangle. And so I'll go on and lecture the whole lecture, and meanwhile students are coming up and trying to fix this, or I've passed out enough sets that people are doing it, trying to do it at their seat, and finding it's not possible. And this gives a chance of saying, you know, in science and especially in mathematics, there are different notions of what it means to be impossible. In mathematics, I can prove to you that it's absolutely impossible to pack these into a 4x7 rectangle. Does anybody want to prove that to me? Some people may have seen, must have seen this type of a proof. So if you look at the different pieces and you imagine, you know, so we've got 28 squares, right? 4x7. Imagine coloring it like a checkerboard. Okay, you're going to get half the squares white and half the squares black. Okay, because you've got 4x7, each column of 4 will be 2 white and 2 black. So you've got the same number of black and white. And if you color each one of these pieces, the 1x4, the 2x2, the 2 different L's even, you'll get black, white, black, white. The zigzag, black, white, black, white. The only one that doesn't work that way is the T piece. You're going to get 3 of one color and 1 of the other. So if you could pack these into a 4x7 rectangle, you'd color the rectangle, everything would have, you'd have the same number of black and white. But that's not possible when you look at them individually, because all of them have the same number of black and white, except for this one. And so what I did was I swindled you at the beginning. I had an extra T piece, and I had packed into a 4x8 rectangle. And this goes to then illustrate in the context of the lecture that you should not trust the professor. You should think for yourself. That a little bit of proof can save you trying to do a lot of work of trying to do something impossible. And yeah, and that it can actually be fun. So this is credit to Ron Graham. I wanted to, you know, publicly thank him for that talk many years ago, where he didn't tell us that was what he was doing. He went on and gave the talk about Tetris and bin packing, and you know, only in my roommate at that conference the next day in the shower said, you know, he swindled us. So speaking of swindles, and especially since it's happy hour, one of the nice things to do is to take a beer glass and show students that what we think we know about numbers is not, you know, so obvious. So I took the biggest beer glass I have in my cabinet. And the question is, if you measure around the top, or if you measure the height of the glass, which one is larger? Okay, so you can certainly take you know, this kind, but this one, yeah, thank you for spotlighting that. So this one, you know, definitely looks like, yeah, this is much larger, and our intuition is wrong. We're just not good at multiplying by 3.14. If I hold this paper up to this glass, you can see that, you know, this glass is only about 10 inches high. But if I wrap the same paper around it, it just barely, you know, so it's almost 11 inches around the circumference of this glass. It just barely meets. And so this is another of the kind of tricks and swindles that you can do to just catch students and say, you know, things are not what you would think they would be. Your intuition may be wrong. All right. Any comments, questions? You know, I've been babbling on for a bit, and at some point soon, I would like to go to a breakout room, but I can have you guys do a couple more card tricks first, if you would like the card tricks. Who knows how to play poker?
You play not for money.
Yeah, well, not with me. My students think that okay, Nancy, great. Nancy is going to tell us how to cheat at poker. All right. But oh, by the way, this is a deck that one of my teaching assistants gave me. It's Women in Science. Osagi, can you spotlight me again on the dot cam? Okay, so Nancy, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out 25 cards, and so Kapana Chawla and Mariam Marzakani and Tu Yuyu, Grace Hopper, Hyperia of Alexandria, Madame Curie. So these are all of the cards. I've got 25 cards, which is enough for 5 hands of 5-card poker. So Nancy, where do you want me to cut? I should cut this roughly in half, and just give me a number from 10 to 15.
8.
Something 10 to 15 would be would be good.
Sorry. I wasn't sorry.
No, that's fine. It's been a long
It's
week.
been a day. 18. We'll do it that way.
Okay, so that's a little further that's a little too far. Preferably between 10 and 15. But
I thought you said 10 and 20. Sorry.
I've got 20. Off. I've got okay. 25 cards. So
let's cut it. Let's cut it in half and say 14. So between 10 and 15.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right. And so what Nancy, and normally I would give this to Nancy to shuffle, but it's one of the hazards is I have to do the shuffling, but we're going to deal out 5 poker hands. And we'll do this, and normally I would, Nancy would be able to actually do this for us, dealing out the 5 hands. This is going to be my partner, and this is the whale. This is the rich person at the table that you want them to have a good hand so that they bet a lot, but your partner should beat them. Okay, so let's just take a look just as a warm up here. So this person has 2 aces, so that's pretty good. They'll probably bet something on those 2 aces, and your partner. Well, your partner's not going to, your partner wouldn't win this one. So the 2 aces are winning so far. Let's see if anybody else wins anything. So nope, nothing in this hand. A pair of 10s in this hand. Nothing in this hand. So this, okay, you got them warmed up. You won something with 2 aces. So Nancy, tell me what order you want me to pick these up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just give me any permutation of 1 through 5. What order should we pick these up?
So 3, 1, 5.
3, 1, 5. Yep.
2, 4.
Okay. All right. And so now this is for real. And so we want to get the whale here to have a good hand, so he bets a lot. And this is looking pretty good so far. All we need is that jack. Yes, so this isn't a royal straight flush because it's not the same suit, but it is a straight with the ace, king, queen, jack, 10. There's not many hands that are going to beat that. So this person is definitely going to. Nancy, what will beat that?
A boat would beat that. A straight flush would beat that.
A straight would beat it. Yeah.
Well, a straight flush would beat that. Yeah.
A straight will beat it. Actually, a flush. Will beat it. I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong thing. Yeah. Right. A flush beats the straight.
Right.
And so you've got an ace high flush in spades. So this person's going to bid a lot, and you've dealt your partner an excellent hand. Let's see what else anybody else got. So this is, well, it's close to another flush, but not quite. This one got a pair of kings. And this one, oh, you got another straight sitting here as well. So these 2 people are going to bid an awful lot of money. And your partner is going to take it. So well done, Nancy.
I might need to learn how to do that for next poker night.
Yeah. Yeah, so if people start thinking I'm pretty suspicious when I do this kind of thing. But let me reassure you that it's not me, that was Nancy. And in fact, here, let's deal out 5 more cards. So 5 more hands here. And I'm just going to do the top ones face up. Oh, so we got so we've got Grace Hopper twice, King of Spades and King of Clubs. I need 5 people who are willing to adopt these cards. So who would like the King of Spades? Okay, John's got the King of Spades. Who's got the King of Clubs? Siley, I didn't see you there. So Siley's got the King of Clubs. If you want something different, we can pull out a different one. If you like, if you want Jane Goodall, that's the 5 of Spades. What do you want, Siley? Is the King of Clubs good for you? Or the 5? You want Jane Goodall? I'll give you that one. 5 of Spades. Catherine Johnson is the 10 of Clubs. Who wants Catherine Johnson? And Hypatia of Alexandria. I need a few more people here. And Madame Curry has got the ace. So I need a few more people to claim these people. Okay, Trevor got the ace just before Frank. Frank, can I give you Hypatia? And let's see, who else needs somebody else to, or maybe I'll just give one to Steve. So Steve gets to be Catherine Johnson. All right, so I've got these 5, and once again, Frank, what order do you want me to pick these up in? So we're going to pick up this mess. Just to give me a permutation of 1 through 5. Okay, so 1, 4, 3, 5, and 2. All right, great. And Siley, do you want me to deal down? We're going to mix these up. So do you want me to deal down 2, 3, or 4 piles?
Let's do 4.
Okay. And should I pick them up clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise.
Okay. So I shouldn't have asked it that way because now I got to think of a clock. So, all right. So I'm going to pick up starting. Is this okay to start with this one? So
Sounds good.
I'm getting myself confused here. I've got to make sure I do this right. So another thing that is also good is it's also good to demonstrate as a professor that it's okay to make mistakes occasionally. So if I make a mistake here, then I'm just demonstrating that it's okay to make mistakes. So, all right. So clockwise means that way. So we'll pick them up like this. And John, do you want 2 piles or 3 piles this time?
2.
Okay. And does it matter to you which one goes on top? Okay.
No.
All right. All right. And so if I deal out the 5 piles here, now that we've got them mixed up, let's see, the last card on each pile. Steve, this was your card, but it wasn't in this location, right?
That's correct.
And nobody else's card is here, right? And that's because they've all been stolen. Oops, nope, it didn't work. This one got stolen and I messed up somewhere. All right, sorry about that one. The dividing in fours is tricky. I have to go the right order, and I obviously didn't do it. So yeah, and like I said, it's okay to make mistakes and openers, you know, because it's just now on the other hand, if I, you know, rely on somebody else like Osagi, yeah. So there's a bunch more concepts I could do. Okay, but we should probably spend a little bit of time in a breakout room, because I also want your ideas for what you do to introduce certain concepts or teach certain things or hook your students, especially in this time of Zoom. So I've got, I'm going to put a link to a Google Doc in the breakout in the chat here, which has 2 questions, and these are questions that are you know, what patterns or rituals do you have for? Sorry, let me grab this link here first in just a second. All right, and so so there's the link. What patterns or rituals do you use to begin class? And what are examples of concepts for which you have a favorite hook that you use to introduce or reinforce the concept in the class? And in order to get us ready for this, I want to do one other trick, or not a trick, but one alternative starter, which is more of a ritual, which comes from Suzanne Lai, who's a classics professor here at UNC Chapel Hill, which I learned about for her doing not in Zoom, and just recently bumped into her again and asked her if this works over Zoom. And she says it does, and says the best way to do this is to stand up and stretch out. So this is the 10 breath meditation. So stand up, because you've probably been sitting in front of your Zoom camera for too long. And we're going to take the 10 breaths. And so imagine that you're just entering class. And on the first breath, think about where you were just coming from. On the third breath, think about where you're going to be going after class. On the fifth breath, think about what it is you're doing now. And then on the seventh, start thinking about your body and getting it to relax. And on the ninth, get ready to sit back down and get ready to focus on lecture. So first, think about where you were. Third one, think about what you have to do next. Fifth, tune that out and think about being here. Seventh, stretch and think about the extremities of your body. Ninth, think about the core. And then sit down and be ready to go to a breakout room.